Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Facundo Nia and I hope you're doing fine. You know what? Today I went to see Wicked for Good, but sadly, by mistake, I saw it in Swedish and it didn't hit home like it should. The thing is, it was a mistake. Something happened at the cinema, so I don't know what happened. But they showed the movie in Swedish. Normally, in Sweden, we don't dub the movies. Okay, we dub the kids' movies. The movies for very small children. I didn't know that this movie was gonna be dubbed at all. So when I first sat down, I had great expectations. I was like, oh, I'm gonna see the movie. Because I love the books and I read all the books when I was a kid. And I also seen the musical many times. So I know the musical very well. Then suddenly they started speaking Swedish and the magic was gone.
Couldn't be happier.
Wicked for Good is actually the second part of the musical. It's the second act and also the second part of the movie Wicked. If you've seen the musical, I think you're gonna enjoy the movie much more because then you know what's gonna happen. And actually, Wicked is very closely attached to Wicked is very closely attached to The Wizard of Oz. Thing is, as I said, I really wanted to see Cynthia and Ariana Grande, but I won't let that destroy the movie for me. And in the beginning of the movie, we see how the animals are slaves. They're treated very badly, and they are the ones that actually makes the yellow brick road. The thing is, this movie is much darker than the first one, and I knew that because I've seen the musical. But actually the animals and the munchkins are representation of minorities in the real life. And the movie shows how minorities are treated differently only because I like it. I like the message a lot. And the movie has a very strong message and I hope people will accept it. Elphaba comes in and she saves the animals. She swoops in, woo, and saves all the animals. And the scene is very cool because she's very heroic. And she's like, doo-doo-doo-doo. She comes flying her magic broom and it's very good. I love that scene. And at the same time,
Happier.
It's more important than ever that you lift everyone's spirits.
and then we meet Glinda for the first time. And she is with Michelle Yeoh's character, Madame. And Michelle Yeoh's character, she's really powerful. And it's actually only her and Elphaba who has powers, you know? So she's like, Glinda, you don't have any powers. So, yeah, you have one power. You make people smile and people likes you. But people have to believe that you have powers. So, I'm gonna give you this magic bubble so you can fly around with this magical bubble and everybody's gonna think that you have powers. And then Michelle Yeoh's character actually Glinda a magic wand and she's like, here, use it and pretend that you're making magic with it. And people are gonna believe it because people always believe what they want to believe. And we see all this evil propaganda about Elphaba and they say very bad things about her. Even Elphaba is trying to show everybody how evil the Wizard of Oz is, but nobody believes her because that is how strong the propaganda is. And the thing is, Glinda always wanted to be loved and she always wanted people to like her and to have magic because it's a very cool scene when we see Glinda as a child and they give her a wand, like a magic wand, and she goes like do 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 and nothing happens. And then she said, oh no, oh my god, I forgot, I have to say the magical words. And then she does it again and she said like abracadabra or something and nothing happens. But at the same time behind her, because she's standing by a window, at the same time behind her all her friends sees a rainbow. Oh, you made this beautiful rainbow happen. Oh, you have powers, you're so good. Glinda, no, she wasn't the one that made the magic happen. Glinda actually knows she wasn't the one that created the rainbows, But she let everybody believe that. And her mother is like, you're so beautiful and you have a very, very, very beautiful smile. Please continue showing off your smile, kinda. And then she actually looks at her reflection and she's starting to practice her smiles and like that. And that scene is very, very good because it happens at the same time as Michelle Yeoh's character, Madame, gives her this magical wand, who is actually a prop. And then we met Fiyero. Fiyero is actually a very cool character, and he's still very much in love with Elphaba. And he's like, I love Elphaba. But he also loves Glinda, like a friend. But the thing is, then, in front of all the people, Glinda and Madame actually says, you know what? Prince Fiyero and Glinda are so much in love and they are gonna get married. And Fiero's like, what? When did this happen? Then Glinda, she's like, oh no, you see, the Wizard of Oz wanted us to get married. And he's like, okay, if you want to get married, we can get married because he still loves her as a friend. They start talking to each other in private and he says the things they do against Elphaba are so disgusting. And we should say the truth because they're using the animals as slaves and they're putting them away in cages and stuff like that. We should escape, says Fiyero. We should run away. And so the situation with animals and the munchkins are very bad. Glinda says, no, I want to stay. So you want to stay so you continue to be loved by everybody. And she's like, yeah, I think so. So Glinda actually wants to stay because everybody loves her and that's very, very important for her. But Fiyero actually wants to join Elphaba in the fight, even if he's pretending to be the captain of the army. He's like the big boss of the army, but his heart is still with Elphaba. And then we meet Boq and Nessa. Nessa is actually Elphaba's sister that's in a wheelchair. And she's like, oh, everything that's happening, everything is so bad. And they're sitting and talking to each other. And Nessa is actually Elphaba's sister. And she goes like, oh, thank you, Boq, for being here with me. You've been here with me when everything was very, very bad. And actually, Elphaba didn't even come to our father's funeral. And the father was a very bad person. Maybe that's why Elphaba didn't come. Or she didn't want to put Nessa and Boq in danger. Okay, so then somebody comes like, you're the only one that hasn't signed it. Says that animals and stuff like that has to have special papers to travel because we don't want them around or something like that. And she says, oh, maybe I should sign it. And Boq is like, are you really gonna sign it? Are you really gonna be as bad and evil as your sister? And that scene is very, very strong and it hits home. And I like that scene very much. The thing is, Nessa, she's very, very bitter and she manipulates Boq to stay with her because he has bad feelings because she's in a wheelchair and stuff like that. This is a spoiler-free review, so I'm not going to talk about what happens to Boq and Prince Fiyero later and ties in very, very strongly to the Wizard of Oz. But what happens is really, really cool. I can't talk about the songs because I don't know if the songs are good or bad, but this one was in Swedish. I can't say if the songs were good or bad. In Swedish, I didn't like it at all. It felt very, very bad and it didn't feel the same as listening to Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande. I think the songs might be very, very good in English. Now, I'm gonna review the movie. I like the acting and I think Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande were actually very, very good as Elphaba and Glinda. And Ariana Grande, she felt really, really good as this person who's very, very hurt. And she's like hurt and she doesn't know what to do with her feelings because she knows that the Wizard of Oz and Madame are very evil. But she stays there and she still loves Elphaba a lot. And Michelle Yeoh, she was really, really good as this evil Madame who actually has powers. And yeah, she was very, very good in the movie. And Jeff Goldblum as the Wizard of Oz was actually very good in the movie too, and I think his songs were very good. And Fiyero's character, he was very good too. I liked him a lot. And Boq, yeah, and the character Boq, he was very good too, but he wasn't in the movie as much. And Nessa, yes, Nessa was great in the movie. I liked her because I actually could believe that she was evil and manipulative and stuff like that. I liked it a lot. The cinematography and special effects, they were very beautiful. And the cutting of the movie could have been a little bit better. So, all in all, I think the movie was good. Not as good as Wicked. But that's actually what happens in the second act of Wicked. And Wicked for Good actually follows the second act very strongly. So yeah, it's good, but not as good as the first act, which was Wicked. I hope I have seen it in Swedish because I can't say how good the songs were. But actually, I hope they were very good. And I'm gonna rewatch the movie, and I'm certain that the movie is gonna hit totally different then, and it's gonna be a much better experience for me. One thing I really liked was the message, because the message in this movie is very strong, and the movie is very message heavy, and I like that because I like it, and I like that from the musical and also from the movie. And the thing is, the animals and the munchkins are allegories for minorities in real life, and it shows how people are treated only because they're different and things like that. And actually, I liked it a lot. Okay, thank you for watching, and I hope you're gonna like the movie. I hope you're gonna watch the movie in your preferred language so you have a much better experience than I had. And thank you for watching, and please drop a like. You know what? While you're down there, tell me down in the comments if you've seen the musical Wicked, or you have seen this movie, or maybe you have seen Wicked and you love it or not. Tell me down in the comments, but please be nice. And have you read the book? Wicked is very good, and I also recommend that book. While you're down there in the comments, please drop a like, and while you're down there, why not subscribe?
Smash that subscribe button!
Why not subscribe? Because if you subscribe, we can hang with each other even more, and that's gonna be awesome. Okay, bye bye hugs, bye bye hugs.
Pom pom pom, pachom pachom chom, quédate, pom pom.